So, on a recent video, I talked about my review of my Legends Ultimate Arcade, a little over 1 year of owning it. So, if you haven't seen that video, I will leave in the description area below. And in that, I talked about the upcoming Legends 4K Ultimate Arcade cabinet. And well, I haven't gotten any new information on it, or I haven't actually done any updates on it. So, that's what I'm going to do today because, well, things have gotten interesting since the last time that I looked. So heading over to the Legends Ultimate Arcade, you could see the current units that they have available. And the one that I have is the original HD version. Its current list price is basically $600. At the time that I got this, I got it for $500, and I did get it at Sam's Club, but they no longer have any Legends Ultimate products. They only have Arcade 1-Up as far as I could tell. And so let's just say if you want one, it's going to be $600, depending on where you live. And then when I looked at the 4K models, the only ones that are available are the pinball machines. And then when I went to the news part, I tried to go to press a website or page, and I even tried to go to the release notes, but the page kept loading and eventually it would come into an error. And you see that here maybe later. But bottom line, I could not find officially where it had the pricing on the Legends Ultimate Arcade. Maybe that was available before on their press release. And then looking at some other videos of people who talked about it, the one thing that I've seen consistently is that it's going to be $1,300 for the Legends Ultimate Arcade 4K unit. And all I got to say is, wow, that is absolutely insane. And the pinball machine itself, it's $1,500. And so this doesn't look like it's too far off from what all the other, creators have talked about. And that's kind of where I want to talk about this because $1,300, whoa, that is a lot of money. So let's go ahead and talk about that because, if you're looking around at the various creators, channels, or news that talks about this, there are things that they've definitely improved on this unit. Now, the first thing is it's going to have a 4K screen. It's going to be a little bit larger diagonally at 27 inches versus 24 inches. It is going to come with the bit LCD banner or marquee on top, and it changes dynamically, which is really cool. You don't have to buy that. The control setup is different now. I think it has an 8-button layout versus just a 6-button. It comes with some fake insert coin doors, and the dimensions are a little bit taller, it seems like. And obviously, it has a more powerful CPU. It has an upgraded Rock chip CPU and more RAM. From 16 gigs to 64 gigs of RAM. And so in general, there are definitely improvements in here. And even the cabinet itself, they're going to have some killer instant cabinets. But does that warrant like more than double the price of the current HD model? 600 versus $1,300. That's not including shipping and so forth. Well, in my humble personal opinion, I do not think it's worth $1,300. And the most important reason why isn't mainly because the hardware, okay? Because I know there are costs associated with that and they have to make a profit. I get that. But for me, the main reason why I got the Legends Ultimate Arcade was because I could do other things by adding CoinOpsX and One Sauce. And the big problem is, as anybody knows, ever since they released firmware 5.70, 5.71, things have been broken. For a lot of people that I've heard from and other people on the internet, they have had problems with both One Sauce and even with CoinOpsX. And the other big thing is you can no longer get CoinOpsX, on their AppX store whenever you upgrade to the firmware. And with all of these new machines, they're going to have new firmware. Whereas with my machine, I have 5.68.0, and I'm never going to upgrade, or I don't ever foresee myself upgrading the firmware because it's going to break things. And well, that's not why I bought the machine. Okay. And so that to me is the biggest thing when you compare to the price. Because if you were still able to do those things, do I still think it justifies more than double of the price? For me, no. But if the price was higher, say around $800 or maybe even $900, and you're able to do CoinOpsX and One Sauce without problems, then I would say, yeah, maybe, you're going to get upgrades, right? And you're still able to use the unit for what people really buy it for, and that is to emulate and play thousands of games beyond just the now 200 games that's going to be coming with the system, which is less than the current 300. We don't know the entire list. But bottom line, in my personal opinion, I think $1,300 is not worth it for the 4K, especially that you can't have things like CoinOpsX or One Sauce. And I know there have been updates to One Sauce where they say it'll work with the new firmware, but as we've already seen, you never really know whenever firmware updates come that it could break your system yet again, and then you won't have that extra really awesome functionality, which the old HD prior to the firmware, that's the reason why so many people bought it and loved it, just like myself. And so those are my thoughts on the Legends Ultimate 4K Arcade. I do not think it's worth it at $1,300. That's just way too much money. And even Arcade 1-Up now, technically, their units are going to be cheaper, but still, for that price, you're not going to get nowhere near as many features versus Legends Ultimate Arcade. And so, yeah, we'll see what happens with sales of the Legends Ultimate Arcade. But my general prediction is that it's not going to be anywhere near as successful as the original HD at that price. And most importantly, lacking the functionality of CoinOpsX and One Sauce to work 100% like it did in the past. So if you actually had any thoughts on this, be sure to leave in the comments area below. And I'll see you on another episode.
Hey geeks, if you are a brand new creator and you simply want something easy to get you started, well, I got something for you with my Creator Starter Kit. This is a super simple step-by-step guide that's going to take you from having no channel to developing your very first YouTube channel, along with ideas, thumbnail designs, and other creator tips, including marketing. And the best part is, all of this is free. Simply head over to the link below, check out my page, and get started creating.